Alright, so Sonic Mania just came out, and we're going to give it a go. I've already played the game a little bit, but let's play through it and see what we think.
So what are the different modes? Because you said you'd played it before, so...
So, the first thing I did, you go to Mania mode, and that's like the basic game. You can be Sonic, you can be Sonic and Tails, or you can do Knuckles. So you have the option to do any of that stuff. Basically, you can play the game just as Sonic, or you can do Sonic and Tails, or you can do Knuckles. But you would have to start a new game if you want.
Oh, okay. So for each one, you start a new game. I was watching somebody do a Let's Play of this game, and I noticed that Tails is like more interactive. Like you can hang on him and stuff like that.
Yeah, like as I was playing through the game, I found that I just really liked being Sonic, and Tails kind of got in the way for me. I didn't grow up with the Sega Genesis. I didn't get it until later in life, so I'm not very good at the Sonic games. I'm not super familiar with like all the controls and stuff, so whenever Tails would come in and grab me, he would like grab me in the middle of a boss fight, and I'd be like, oh god, how do I get Tails off of me? So I like playing it just with Sonic, really.
It's cool how like Tails has the plane like he had in the earlier Sonic games, and now we're doing the inverted color stuff, and it's really cool.
It's so authentic to what Sonic the Hedgehog was.
I think it's really interesting that this game comes not from where we normally get Sonic games because it has was it Christian Whitehead, and it was like a somebody who developed a fan game who then went on to develop an actual title in the Sonic series, and now it actually ends up being a game that people want to play.
So I've played through it. Like I said, I'm not very good at it, but I really, really enjoyed it. This is actually, believe it or not, one of, if not possibly even my favorite game for the Switch. And I think that it's really funny. You have to mention the fact that we're sitting here and we're playing Sonic the Hedgehog on Nintendo, and not growing up with the Sega Genesis, I had a hard time with the controller a lot of times because there was the 3-button controller. But now, playing with the Nintendo controller, it's funny you're using the analog stick because I played it through with the D-pad. But basically, yeah, I think this game's great. I think it has a couple little things that I had a little bit of a problem with. The one thing I will say about the game that I didn't really like that much was when you get to the checkpoints, you can jump into there's like a spiral star thing that appears over the checkpoints, and those modes I didn't really like, but these ones I thought were great. This is the racing mode right here, and essentially when you get to those giant rings, there's a bunch of those giant rings on each level, and what this is for is to get the Chaos Emeralds. So, what you're doing here is you're collecting these blue balls, and
they make you run faster.
Yeah, when I was doing stream, everybody's like, "Oh, blue balls!" But yeah, the blue balls fill up the mock, and they make you go faster. The rings are for time, so you want to collect the rings so that this can go on long enough. And what you're essentially doing is that up there is a UFO, and you want to catch the UFO that has the Chaos Emerald. And I believe there's something like 7 or 8 Chaos Emeralds in the game. Now, when I played through the game the first time, I was not able to get all the Chaos Emeralds because some of these can be tough. This one's not too bad, but as they go on, they get harder. And you have to do it on your first attempt, and they don't let you try it again. Like, when you go back into the level, if you were to die, the ring is there, but you can't go back to the ring. But the good news is, when you beat the game, they let you go back into the levels, and you can actually just go to level 1 and keep going that ring over and over, and you can get all the Chaos Emeralds. You don't have to find all the giant rings in the game after you've beaten it. But the first time you go through it, there's multiple giant rings on the levels, and that's kind of like they give you multiple chances, I guess, to get the Chaos Emerald. I wasn't able to do it because I suck at the game, but that's essentially what's going on with that.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I always thought was hard about the original Sonic games is it was hard without playing them over and over again many times to get all the Chaos Emeralds.
Exactly. If you're an expert, if you're really good at it, you can do it, and I guess that's the idea. Play the game more and more. But I like that because that's kind of like, it gives the game more replay value. As you get better at the game, you'll get rewarded by, if you're good enough, you can actually get the Chaos Emeralds on your first run through of the game. So I think that's actually really cool. Yeah, the bosses are just your standard bosses. You can jump into them and stuff like that. If they're red, it's kind of like they're heated up, so you don't want to touch them when they're red.
Yeah, you want to touch them when they're... Oh, crap. I like this. It's a little bit more interesting than the original Sonic fight. Like, there's a little bit more happening here.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
But the game isn't so different that it's familiar. And what I like about it is a lot of times when they do... I guess I'm thinking more of like hacks and things like that.
Right.
But a lot of times when they make these new editions of old games, they make them incredibly hard. I would say that this is about the same difficulty as the original games, which is cool. So this is more user friendly for like standard audiences. You know
right.
what I mean?
It's a game for everyone. Like if you're playing a mascot platformer. I don't think it should be like the hardest thing in the world.
Oh, well, I think that those are cool sometimes. Like, I like playing the really hard Mario games and stuff like that on occasion, but I don't always want that. That's sort of a novelty, and it's good. It's good.
I don't think they should. I don't think they should be easy, but I don't think it should be like.
See right there, you jump into that. So once you get, I think it's 25 coins, or not coins, 25 rings or more, it takes you to these stages. This right here is what I don't like about the game, and I believe, I'm not an expert, but I believe...
I hit... Yeah.
That's what always happens to me, and a lot of people don't like these stages. What happens to me on those is essentially what just happened to you.
You hit one of the red things.
You hit one of the red things, and it's over, and then you die. And it stinks, basically. And
that's cool.
That was my big problem with the game.
That's cool. So this has the stuff from Sonic 3 in it.
Yeah.
Like the different shields.
And I think that other thing was from Sonic 3 as well. That weird perspective, collecting the blue spheres. And I don't care for it. I think that's the worst part about the game. But other than that, and I know that there are probably some people that like that, but it tends to be, in general, from what I've heard, most people seem to not really like that mode, and I agree with that. But other than that, I really, really, really enjoy this game. All the boss fights were really cool. I don't know if we'll actually get to it or not, but I'll just say there is a boss fight that actually is like a remake of Dr. Robotnik's Beam Machine, I think it was called.
Oh, where you have to play Puyo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they make that into a boss fight.
Oh, that's really cool.
And I thought that was really cool.
That's cool. Any Sonic Spinball references that you saw?
I don't want to say there isn't, but I can't remember off the top of my head. There probably is, but...
That was a game that I played so much on the Genesis.
I love Spinball. I thought that was a great game. That was actually the Sonic game that I actually really liked the most, I think.
Oh, this is interesting.
You pretty much just jump into his body and try not to hit the spikes, and keep moving because it's targeting you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the boss fights are pretty creative. What I will say is, so people might be wondering, if you get all of the giant rings and you collect all the Chaos Emeralds, what does that even do to get all the Chaos?
Do you get Supersonic?
That's what it is. So you get Supersonic. The thing that I found is that, I guess the problem is I didn't do Supersonic until I was near the end of the game.
Yeah.
So by that point, I had to learn the controls for Sonic. So I was fighting the end boss, and it was like the first time that I had ever used Supersonic, so I didn't know the controls very well. So I was having a hard time with it. But I think the idea is if you're really good at the game, you'll collect the Chaos Emeralds earlier, and then you'll have time to get used to.
Oh, that's cool.
The controls, but I got it late in the game, so I didn't have a lot of time to get used to the controls.
This game is really good.
It's really, really good. Like I said, I think even though I'm not good at it, I think that this might be my favorite Switch game, because I also played Bomberman R, and I was really enjoying Bomberman R at first. The more I played of that game, the angles and the perspectives of some of the boss fights in that were like really awkward. And I had recently played the Sega Saturn Bomberman, the one that's like the 10-player one, Saturn Bomberman. That game is so much better than the Switch version. Anyway,
you like Sonic Bomberman better? I mean, the Saturn Bomberman.
Oh my god, Saturn Bomberman I think is like the best Bomberman game, and what I'm trying to say is, like, at first I thought the Switch one was awesome, but then the more I played it, I was kind of like, this isn't as good as some of the old ones.
Yeah.
But this game, I think, is fantastic. I don't really other than that one thing with the sphere levels, there's really nothing about this game that I don't like. I think it's awesome. Like, the music's great. Obviously, the graphics are awesome. I think this is an excellent title. If you have a Switch, this is something you should definitely get.
And I'm glad that, we're back to this being a good series. Because, I think Sonic, probably like one of the most hated series. But only because fans wanted it to be better. Fans.
You're talking about like Sonic 06 and some of the bad games that they had.
Exactly.
Another giant ring. That's
yeah.
Cool. So I can already tell you're much better at Sonic than me, because you seem to be more unnatural. I guess. See, I didn't play a lot of Sonic growing up. I guess you probably did.
I get the Genesis second after I had already had
Super
Nintendo, but yeah, I played a good bit of Sonic.
Okay, I played through Sonic the first one and Sonic the second one time when I bought it, but then I started playing a lot of the other Sega Genesis games. I was really into like. I played a lot of Columns. I played a lot of the Castlevania game, and I played Toe Jam and Earl. And so I was playing a lot of other titles. I didn't play a whole lot of Sonic, but I should have. Looking back on it, I wish I would have played more Sonic.
I think it's funny the way the spikes are popping in, because this system has the draw distance where it doesn't need to have them pop in like that. But that's very much a nostalgic thing. Like, they could render everything on that screen.
Yeah.
But because I guess the older games, the things popped in when they got close, they had them pop in when you were close, which was funny.
Yeah. So you're killing it with the Chaos Emeralds. You're doing really well.
I really would have liked if I would have got the one on the checkpoint, though.
Yeah. Those are really hard, though. I had an extremely hard time with those. As I played it more and more, I started being able to do it better, but it took me quite a while to get halfway decent at those. I think they're not the best design thing.
Man, the 2D Sonic games have awesome music. Chemical Plant Zone, can't go wrong with that.
It's so funny. There was a long period where it was kind of like a lot of the classic games went away, but now it's like everything has come back. I mean, there was new Super Mario Brothers. Here we have a new Sonic game.
I'm back
they remade. It was a while ago now, but they remade or they made like Mega Man 9 and 10. Like Mega Man came back. Everything has had a revival pretty much. Not everything, but
now Mega Man 9 and 10 have had a re-release with the Anniversary Collection too.
Right.
Like we're now to the point where our nostalgic re-releases are having re-releases. It's like
that's really weird. I really want to see Star Wars Rogue Squadron come back, because I love those games for N64 and for GameCube, and it's so weird to me that
I'm gonna die
there's plenty of Star Wars games out there, but the actual Rogue Squadron series where you're going around in the ships and shooting things and all that, that's like gone now, and it's so weird to me. Like, they have Star Wars Battlefront and they have a million Star Wars games, but how do you not have those games? Those to me were the best Star Wars games, and especially weird to me because there's the new movie franchise. I mean, think of, is it Poe Dameron and all that? Like, how do they not have?
Oh, why don't they do another like Squadron game?
Yeah, why don't they? What I think that they should be doing is, why don't they have a Rogue Squadron with combine like the old movies and the new movies?
And the squad, yeah, like a new X-Wing versus TIE Fighter or something like that.
Yeah.
So if I hit this, oh, look at that.
Yeah. You hit
you can get different types of chemicals now.
Yeah.
Now it's green. So what is green? Does green give me more? Yeah. That's so cool. And that was one of the things they added in this game.
You just like oh, okay. I was thinking of something else. There's certain things. There's like cart things that you get in, and you just like don't touch anything, and then the cart like shoots you off, and it does it sort of itself. But
this is cool.
Something different.
It's like flubber.
So you haven't really had an opportunity to play this yet, huh?
No, I haven't. I was really trying to play it before we made the video. And actually, one of the guys I work with was saying that this is one of his favorite games of all time. Not favorite Sonic games, not favorite platformers.
And does he mean Sonic Mania?
Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I disagree. Like, as soon as I started playing this game, I was like, wow, this is awesome. They did a really, really, really excellent job.
It's funny. I was really hoping you would like it. Like, I was like, oh, you know.
Because, because I didn't grow up with Genesis, and I'm not very good at the Sonic games, so yeah. I'm actually a little surprised how much I actually really do like it. I think honestly the thing that helps me is the fact that it's a different controller. It's like a Nintendo controller, because I've always had a hard time with the Genesis controller. With Sonic games, it's fine if I'm playing like Castlevania Bloodlines or like Contra Hardcore or something like that. But with Sonic games, I just always had a tough time with the Genesis controller.
Did you see that Robotnik block? The Robotnik block was like the poison mushroom in Super Mario 2 or Lost Levels.
I didn't see it.
I hit it and I lost all my rings because I hit a Robotnik.
Oh no, yeah. So no, I know what you're talking about. So sometimes you can get a thing that it'll be like an extra Sonic, or one of the things will be a ring. You can get a thing that's fire, that turns Sonic into fire. So there's all these different things and one of them is a Robotnik, which is, if you touch it, it's bad.
It's like like I was saying, it's like the purple mushroom.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, one of the things I did find is some of the levels are very long. You'll notice that these levels are longer than like in the original games.
Yeah.
And there was an extra Sonic right there, actually.
Yeah.
I would say this is a game where the time really is important. I remember playing the original Sonic games, and the time didn't really matter as much. Where this game, it can honestly come down to the last second on some of these stages because they're so long. There you go.
All right, now I cannot be a punk on this. Let's see.
Remember, you can jump. There you go.
Here we go.
That's a good start. You probably want to try to get those rings, because you need 95 rings to get through this.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, around the outer edge, and you got it. So do you remember that from playing it?
Yeah, I remember because I've been watching people stream it.
Okay.
Like that's really.
I like the honesty.
Yeah, yeah. I have it.
Oh,
if you bounce off, they turn red. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's one of the things that makes it really difficult.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I like the helix there,
Isn't
like
that
DNA.
Neat? They did
Pretty
such
cool.
a good job with this.
Oh, that's gonna kill me.
It has to be the Yellow Brick Road there.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's remaking games. How come nobody's remade the SNES Wizard of Oz game yet?
The SNES Classic, the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, how come Wizard of Oz isn't on the SNES Classic?
Yeah.
It's like the least likely game to ever make it onto one of those collections.
Yeah, they should have that.
Especially considering the licensing issues.
And Lester the Unlikely, and yeah. What are the 30 worst games that you could put?
On the SNES Classic.
Baseball. Bill Lambier's Combat Basketball.
I like that you pull that out. Yeah. Oh, this is it.
Oh, here we go. We're Puyoing now, guys. Gotta get some combos ready, right? Yeah, make this.
But that was the name of it, right? It was like Dr. Robotnik's Bean Machine.
Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Mean Bean Machine, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, is it 4 in a row? Yeah, it's 4 in a row. Watch this. This is gonna be combo time.
Yeah, you gotta get 4.
You got combos. Watch, it's 3 in a row.
Boom.
There you go.
Yeah,
that was 1. Yeah.
Oh, look at him! Look at him.
Yeah. See, this game's all about. It's all about the combos.
But I think this is the only point in the game where you get to do this. But it is cool.
Oh, he's done. I know people who play this game.
Yeah.
Where they're doing like 6, 7 combos.
Right. Was that their answer to Dr. Mario back in the day?
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you say that. I don't know if what came first, if Dr. Robotnik came first, or Puyo Puyo came first, or who made what.
Right. Does it really matter?
It doesn't. It's
at
all
this
cool.
point in time, especially.
So I think like the big console puzzlers. It starts with Tetris, of course, but well,
with Genesis, honestly, like I was saying before, I played a lot of columns. Like I loved that game. I think I liked it better than Tetris, and I love Tetris, so that's saying a lot. I don't know if you ever played like much of that game, but I thought that game.
Oh yeah, I like Columns. And Columns 3 has like a story mode and stuff.
It's cool.
It's pretty cool. At least we're running a straight line now. Oh, you
You're
can't.
trying to jump the gap. Hey, it's not Mario Kart.
Yeah, I was trying to jump the gap. What's wrong with that? Sue me.
You need rings.
Yeah, I know.
2 seconds. Oh! 2 seconds. Oh! Wait, it gave you time back, I thought. That was cheap.
So, I mean, I don't have Sonic Mania yet. I think it's funny that Sonic beat Mario to a Nintendo console. That's kind of
think of that.
That's kind of funny to think about.
Well, he's faster.
Yeah, he's faster. So why wouldn't he? I mean, he turns into a beam of light. And
You know what I'm most scared of? This game is so good that I wonder if this is gonna, when all is said and done, because I know people are gonna get hyped when Mario Odyssey comes out, but 2 years later, after people are done with the hype, if people are gonna remember this as being a better game than Mario Odyssey,
That's interesting.
because it will be interesting if there was a better Sonic game on a Nintendo console than the Mario game. I mean, I looked at Mario Odyssey. I'm excited for it, and I think it looks cool, but I just don't know because I haven't played it yet. Like, I wonder if it's gonna live up to this.
You know, right now my excitement for Mario Odyssey is not
Huge.
huge.
Yeah, me neither, really.
I mean,
I want to play it.
Like, I want to play it. It seems like it's gonna be all right. But my excitement for this game was not huge, and I'm seeing it as, like, I like it better than ARMS and Splatoon.
Yeah.
You know, and I like both those games when they came out on the Switch. I think that ARMS didn't really have...
Right, and you're not saying that you didn't like ARMS or Splatoon. You did.
No, I'm saying that those games didn't have... I feel like this game might have more replay value for me, where I am in life right now. You know? That's hard.
Screw those levels.
I want a way to just practice those.
That's what I was saying when I stream this. Is
Yeah.
The main thing I want... Oh, okay, well, there is. But I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, when I was streaming, I was just like, oh, I wish I could go back into that and do it a couple times and, like, get good at it, and then I could get through it. So what you do is on the title screen of the game, and this is what I was saying earlier, if you hold down, I think you hold down B, and this has to be before the start screen pops up, when it says press start here, and then when it does, you hit Y, and then it takes you to a special screen, and in that, there's options to where you can practice that, but what I found is that you can only practice the easiest stage of it, because those progressively get harder.
Right.
So really, as far as, unless I'm missing something, there is no way to practice all of those stages, which is unfortunate.
And how do you even design levels for this game?
Isn't it unbelievable?
You know, like so much went into this. Like,
I was thinking about it, like, how many times do you have to play this game to know the levels well, you know? Because they're so complex.
You know, Sonic is a game with such a rabid fan base. I think that this game had to be made by for them to do Sonic right.
Like, because just an average game designer, if they're not a huge fan, isn't going to know everything that they want, that fans will want in the game.
Exactly, you got it.
Right. That's kind of where I feel I'm at with Star Trek, too. Not to always go back to the Star Trek subject, but it's kind of like, you kind of need somebody who's a fan there to, like, because it's got a long history and a long legacy, and I guess Sonic does too, where if you don't know anything about it, how are you going to make the next in the series and make it even better if you don't know anything about it? So, what they need is new game designers that don't know about it to come up with new concepts, and then have somebody there that does know about it, and then combine those people together to make some kind of new product. Which, whatever they did, however they went about this, they did it right, because this game is not only old, like it looks like an old Sonic game, but it's also not just that. Like, it has new elements to it, and they did such a good job at making something old new again.
This is what you need in a modern game. It's a modern game. It definitely is, but it is very faithful to the past
Yeah.
as well. And the gameplay, I love that in 2017 I could sit down and I could play a side-scrolling platformer that is brand new, that doesn't suck, that has beautiful graphics. This game has beautiful graphics. Look what we're looking at here. It's great. And that this type of gameplay still exists. When we started playing PlayStation games, when we started playing Xbox games, you know, for a while there were no 2D games. There was none. You got Symphony of the Night, and then there was a gulf of nothingness.
You know, actually, I think you're now hitting on the point that I think is most important for me, is that when games went, you know, and I love Ocarina of Time, and there's a lot of, you know, games of that era I love, but I always felt that the PlayStation and N64 era, like those polygon graphics, were not the most appealing graphics to me. We had moved beyond the 16-bit era. When you look at this, I think that this style of graphics is beautiful to look at, and I always thought the Super Nintendo games, and even 8-bit and 16-bit games, they had a certain artistry to them, and I hated the fact that that was becoming lost, because, like, that's a very special thing, like the way these games look. They're pixelized and whatever, but that's the way they're supposed to look. I know a lot of people feel like, oh, games should look realistic, like Grand Theft Auto or something like that, and I like that too, but the fact that this was becoming lost was very sad to me. So I would always sit around playing Super Nintendo games, because like I loved like the way, the art direction and the way these games look. So for this to come back now in 2017, and it still looks like a 16-bit game, but with new improvements. It is like you said, it is a 2017 game. I mean, it's fantastic.
It's beautiful that we live in a world where we can play Destiny 2 and Call of Duty World War II and Madden, where there's every character, every player in the NFL perfectly rendered, every stadium, all of that. But we can also play games like Sonic Mania and Shovel Knight. And it's the same on the same piece of hardware.
And honestly, I guess the whole thing was about fear, because really my fear was that this would just all disappear and everything would become ultra realistic. It's so nice to see stuff like this, because this is what I fell in love with. This was video games to me as a kid, and I was afraid that video games would be gone and then everything would become, totally modern, like you're saying, like the Destiny style game. And I don't have a problem with Destiny, but I did have a problem with this disappearing.
Absolutely. So Christian Whitehead, we have a wish list for you now. We would very much like to see another Shinobi. Can we get a Shinobi game, a good Shinobi modern game? I would like to see another, speaking of Shinobi, I would like to see a related game, another Strider. Give us a Strider in this style, not the 3D weird one.
Can he only do Genesis?
That's what I'm going for. That's my Genesis list.
Is your Genesis list?
I would like to see another Streets of Rage.
Sure.
A good Streets of Rage.
I would like to see a new Toe Jam and Earl.
A new Toe Jam and Earl.
But one that is like the first game, not that Panic and Punch-Tron stuff.
New Toe Jam and Earl. Yep, get that on your list. Let's see. Let's close out the Genesis. What would we like to say?
My only problem is like maybe like Streets of Rage might work because it was one of the big titles. But would like some of these other titles be big enough titles for it to sell and work? This works because it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's huge. Sonic is huge, and kids remember Sonic.
Yeah. So for some of the less popular titles, I just don't know if it would be worth it for them to go through as much effort. This had a big team working on it. You look at the end credits. It had a lot of people working on it. For them to go through the effort to make a game that's not Sonic, will it sell as well? Is the question. I'm
just saying what I want to see.
Yeah, I know.
It'd be great, and then release a 6-pack with Sonic Mania and the other 5 games, all in the same thing.
Can we get Castlevania Bloodlines Mania?
Castlevania Bloodlines Mania. Yeah. Since they've managed to infiltrate Sega. Okay, here's the thing. This game was made because of some people who really worked hard, who really had vision, who tried to make something good happen. Same thing needs to happen for Capcom. Same thing needs to happen for Konami.
Yeah.
I think that the efforts to recapture the Capcom Konami goodness have been weak compared to this.
People always ask me recently, oh, did you see the new Castlevania show, the Netflix show? And my thought of the whole thing is, yeah, that's fine. I want a new Castlevania 2D side-scrolling game.
Don't make the show unless you're going to make the game. That's why, I forget what casino I was in. I saw Castlevania slot machine, and I'm like,
where's the real game?
Where's the game?
Yeah, where's the real game?
If you're going to go to Vegas and make Castlevania slot machine, make a new game. And Sonic Mania delivers on that.
And the thing is, they've made Castlevania games semi-recently, I guess, but they're all... We want actual 2D side-scrolling Castlevania.
Yeah.
And this is proof right here that you can take those games, bring them back, and have them be new again with new elements. Yeah. This is the way you do it right. It's not perfect. There's a couple things I didn't like, but this is like 99% perfect. This is how you do it. That's really all you can ask for is 99%.
Yeah, 99%. I mean... And that's high praise for any game.
Yeah, so excellent. Pick up Sonic Mania. If you haven't got it and you have a Switch, you got to get it.
Yeah, check it out.